and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 30th December 2024. So let's get started with our discussion. So actually there are many important articles directly from your static syllabus which are there in your news. Okay, let us see those important topics. Okay, see the title guys. Expect tariff hikes, FTA push in new Trump era. So what are the keywords in this article? Okay, FTA and another more keyword, tariff hikes. Okay, so can I add this article from India-US relations? India-US relations. So there are two keywords which are talked in this article. So first one is increasing of tariff and the second one is FTA. Okay, and one more important keyword is generalized preferences, GP. Okay, so in which subject you will be saying about this India-US relations? From GS paper 2 under international relations. So from international relations point of view, what are the developments which happened in US recently? What are the developments which happened? Okay, recently elections done. So who is the present president? Trump. Okay, Donald Trump. So is Trump favor to India or against India? Favor to India. Okay, so actually recently there is one interview. So in that interview, this is between former US ambassador to India. So actually the interview of former US ambassador to India has been done and he gave some key highlights like how India and US relations going to be in future. So he said that India need to prepare for increased tariff and we have to focus on finalizing of free trade agreement. So these two important things he said. Okay, now let us go back here. So what is the meaning of tariff? Tariff is nothing but what? Taxes. So there will be high tax. There will be import tax and as well as export tax. So what happens if there is increased tax on Indian goods? So he said that India need to prepare for increased tariff or tax on Indian goods. So what happens if there is increased tax on Indian goods? So yes, demand will be decreased. Why demand will be decreased? Ultimately, there will be increasing of price of Indian goods in US market, so that there is decreasing of demand for Indian goods. So that what happens for trade? Trade between India and US can be increased or decreased? Trade decrease. Okay, so how it will be having impact on Indian economy? Exports of India will be increased or decreased? Exports decrease. Next, what about this forex reserves? Okay, reduce. So all these are the impacts. So what is this concept of free trade agreement, FTA? Okay, so is it like a grouping will be doing this or individual countries? Grouping and as well as individual countries, they will be having this FTA. So FTA, what is the aim? To decrease or to reduce tariff. So we want to reduce tariff so that we are going for signing of free trade agreement between the countries and as well as country and as well as a grouping. So far with which countries India have this FTA? So which are in use in the recent past? India is trying to finalize FTA with Australia, next. UK, very good. And what about this SAFTA? South Asia Free Trade Agreement. And any more other agreements which we made with different groupings? SAFTA, next. SAFTA, SAPTA, next. C? Okay, CCEPA, okay, next. CCEPA, next. PTA. Okay. So you have to know about with which countries so far we had this FTA, and you may get a prelims based question regarding this for sure in this 2025. So with which of the following countries India signed FTA? Because recently from last 6 to 8 months, this is in news, like India is going to finalize FTA with many countries. Okay, so now let us see here why we have to very much focus regarding this improving of India-US relations, because recently India had been removed from this generalized system of preference, that is GSP status for India. Okay, so because of this removal of India from this, so now we are under a pressure of USA that we have to decrease imports from Iran. Okay, so because of this we halted our imports. We made our imports from Iran like zero. We are not importing anything from Iran because of this fear of CAATSA. What is this CAATSA? Countering American Adversaries Through Sanction Act. So this came up around 2017 to 2018 again by Donald Trump itself. So again Trump came into existence, like now he is in power. So because of this we have to be very much cautious regarding so from which country which imports we are getting from. Okay. So what is this free trade agreement? So this is an agreement or a pact between two or more countries to reduce the barriers like import barriers and export barriers. Okay, so under this free trade agreement, there will be little or no government tariff, and there will be no quota system or no subsidies, so that it will be inhibiting the exchange of goods and services between the two countries. So this concept is exactly opposite to trade protectionism. So actually US will always focus on its domestic industries. It wants to protect its domestic industries. So this concept is exactly opposite to this trade protectionism. So if you see, actually earlier India was part of this RCEP, but because of some issues India came out of this RCEP. India is not part of RCEP now, but actually at that time we used to have a free trade agreement with this RCEP. And apart from that, in 2021 May, India announced that India and European Union is going to have this FTA, but these talks had been stalled because of Brexit. Okay, and next one here is India is trying to make free trade agreements with UAE, which is in news recently. Next one is UK, Australia, and Canada. You have to see. And especially with UAE, this agreement is in at a final stage. And even with Australia also, it is at a very advanced stage. That means if you are completing that, then only we can say that India had signed this agreement with these countries. Okay, so here we have this CECPA, that is Comprehensive Economic Cooperation and Partnership Agreement, that is between India and Mauritius. So India and Mauritius, they had this free trade agreement. And next one is we have this SAPTA, that is South Asia Preferential Trading Agreement. And we have this SAFTA, that is South Asian Free Trade Area. And next one is APTA, that is Asia Pacific Trade Agreement. So here there is a chance of getting question like, consider the following, and they'll give all these things, SAPTA, SAFTA, APTA, like that, and they'll ask which of the following are related to free trade agreements. So you have to be in a condition to identify that. Even though IR is part of only mains, but you can get questions in prelims, because you have to be sure that you have to understand what is happening around. So in your prelim syllabus, it is given clearly that national and international issues. So from that point of view, this will be the part of your prelim syllabus. And next one is generalized system of preferences. So under this generalized system of preferences, so this framework will be normally adopted by most developed countries, and they will try to provide some economic incentives for developing countries. How? They will decrease the tariffs, that is nothing but taxes on their exports. So earlier India used to have this generalized system of preferences from USA, but it had been removed. That means now US government can increase taxes. So that is a thing which is indirectly said by this person who gave interview. And why we need this GSP? So here, especially developing countries, they always have struggles regarding their economy and developmental activities. If they are increasing their exports, they will be getting economically stability. So for economic stability and as well as to get market access internationally, we need to have this GSP. And next one here is, especially this GSP will be helpful for small business and as well as women-owned enterprises. And next one is, they will be also providing alternatives for Chinese imports. And because of this, we can also make some reforms in our labor industry or like manufacturing sector. And even this will be helpful for protection of our intellectual property rights. Okay, that is the thing. And see this image. What is this image? What is this dance form? Kuchipudi. Okay, Kuchipudi is from which state? Andhra Pradesh. So can you tell me some special features of this Kuchipudi? Have you ever watched this dance performance? I think in your BTech or in your graduation, someone who had fascinated might be doing this at least during the fest time or like farewell parties. Okay, expressions. Next. Next. Hand gestures are called as mudras. Next. Hand gestures, mudras. Next. Do you know about this history of Kuchipudi? How it came into evolution? No idea. Okay, so this dance form is very important. So in your art and culture, you have this separate chapter called as dances. So we have two types of dances. First one is classical dance forms. Second one is folk dance forms. So how many classical dances we have? 8. So can you tell me what are they? Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, Kathakali, Mohiniyattam, Manipuri, Odissi, next. Yeah, Satriya. One more, Kathak. Kathakali. Okay. So here you have to make a notes like in tabular format. So name of the dance form, and you have to see to which state it belongs to, and you have to see important features. And while making this tabular format notes, try to take map and see in which area which dance form is there. Okay, you have to do both because there is a very high chance of getting mains based question from this dance forms, especially official dances or classical dances. There you have to represent these dance forms on a map. And this tabular format will be mainly useful for your prelims. So if you are getting any question from prelims, you can handle it by seeing this table. But in this mains based question, you have to use this map for sure. Okay. So now let us see some facts regarding this Kuchipudi. So Kuchipudi mainly belongs to state of AP. And actually the origin, if you normally trace this history of this origin of this Kuchipudi, here it is related to this Bhagavatalu. That means nothing but it mainly done by the people who travel from one place to another place. Especially this people who are performing this Kuchipudi, they will be playing something. Like for example, they will be taking any theme of your Krishna and as well as Radha stories like that. And even especially they will be doing this performance based on Hindu mythology like that. And if you see some important features, especially it is famous for footwork, and especially very grace movements will be there, and facial expressions are very important in this dance form. And next one here is, so one important key feature of this Kuchipudi is, you know this brass, right? Brass big plate. Normally it is called as tambalam or like that. Tambulam or tambalam like that. So it will be like this plate. So on this plate, they will be keeping two legs and they will be standing on this plate and they will balance their body and they will be keeping mudras. It will be very difficult. So this is called as tarangam. So you may get a question like tarangam related to the dance forms is associated with the following dance, and they may give Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, Odissi, Mohiniyattam like that. So it is solely belongs to this Kuchipudi. Okay, and actually it is related to Hindu god Krishna oriented themes. And next important thing here is, especially Kuchipudi dancers, they will wear very light makeup, but if you see, it will be like very bright makeup, and they will be using different kinds of ornaments for head, for for their everything. They will be using very rich ornaments, and they will be also using arm bands. So for this arms, they will be using the bands. They will call as Chandravanki, and they will be using different kind of necklaces like that. And especially some music instruments they will use for this dance form, they are mridangam, cymbals, veena, flute, and tambura. So these are the instruments, musical instruments, which are used for this dance forms. Okay, and see this article, Siang project to help mitigate flood risk posed by China, says Arunachal chief minister. So what is this article talking about? Have you heard this word Siang anywhere accidentally? At least Siang, Siang river. It is the tributary of Brahmaputra river. Okay. So this article is talking about Siang project. So we can see this topic from GS paper 1 under geography, and even GS paper 3 under environment and ecology, and even from GS paper 2 under international relations. And it is an infrastructure projects where we are going for generating of hydroelectricity. So hydroelectricity is part of your GS paper 3 under science and technology. And even whenever we are going for any developmental project or infrastructure, it is a part of your GS paper 3 under economy as well. So this single topic is related to 5 subjects of your syllabus. Okay, from geography point of view, what you will be seeing? You will be seeing just location of that river, and you will be connecting to your Himalayan river system. That too, you will be seeing about your river Brahmaputra. And from environment and ecology, you have to see what is the impact of climate change on this Siang river. And from international relation point of view, we are going to construct this project to counter China's project. Okay, China is constructing a project or a dam to control the water flow into India. So to counter that, we are going to see this project. Okay, so actually if you see the relationship between India and China, so India and China, they don't have very good relations, as you know. It is like an enemy country of India, right? So China, what it does is, so here at upper, it will be like upper riparian state, it will be constructing dam there. So if this dam had been like full, then what happened? Suddenly, without any notification or without any information, if it is releasing water, what happens? It will cause floods, right? So to control that floods, we are constructing this dam at this lower riparian, so that we will be like very much aware, and we are trying to protect the people in this region against flood. Okay, so this is about this Upper Siang project that you have to see from China and India relations. So exactly how can you use this article is whenever you're writing about how India is trying to control or to counter China. So China wants to go for expansionist aggressive policy. For example, string of pearls, right? So to counter that, India is having diamond necklace. So apart from that, even India is trying a lot to control this Chinese aggressiveness in Indo-Pacific region, right? We are coming up with ISA, and we are coming up with different grouping organizations, etc. So the same way to counter Chinese dominance or Chinese aggression in India, we are using this Siang project. So in that way, you can use this article as an example in your international relations. And from science and technology, you will be studying about this renewable energy. So can you tell me examples of this renewable energy? Solar, hydro, wind, next geothermal, next That's it. So from hydro point of view, you can see like India coming up with Upper Siang project to improve hydro power production. So it is part of, what is the renewable energy target of India? 500 gigawatts by 2030. Okay, from economy point of view, how it can be done? So whenever we are going for any infrastructure project, is it done easily? No. So we have to invest a lot. So whenever government is investing a lot, it will cause fiscal deficit. And whenever government is coming up with kind of infrastructure projects, even it can address this problem of unemployment. So it will provide some employment opportunities for the local people, so that it will be helpful for revival of local economy. So in that way you have to think. Okay. So now let us see here. Arunachal Pradesh's chief minister has emphasized the importance of Siang Upper Multi-Purpose Project. So you may get even SUMP short form in your examination. Try to write the short forms also. SUMP is nothing but Siang Upper Multi-Purpose Project, and this project is costing like 1.13 lakh crore. And this initiative, it is not only for hydropower generation, but even to maintain natural flow of Siang river, and as well as we want to mitigate flood risk, which is associated with excess water release from China without any prior information. Yeah, even we are maintaining this flow water flow. Whenever we are constructing any dam, it will provide irrigation facilities, and even it will provide drinking water facilities, everything. No, so we will be having both those things. So whenever we are constructing dam, there is also some issues like rehabilitation of people. So people should be taken from that place. So that may also leads to some andolans or like protest by the people, but we have to control that and we have to manage that. For example, if you're not having this kind of strategy to counter China, what happens? So already China wants to occupy entire Arunachal Pradesh, right? So here it may cause anything. We don't know how the mindset of these people will be changing. Suddenly, if they release huge amount of water into India, so huge amount of people will be get affected, right? Property will be get affected, lives will be get affected, crops will be get affected. It will be threat for security and as well as for our economy of the country. Okay, so if you see some facts regarding this Upper Siang multi-purpose storage project, so this project, it is proposed for generation of 11,000 megawatts of hydropower. It is very, very huge. And actually, if you see origin of the Siang river, which originated near Mount Kailash in Tibet, it is very important. And it flows around 1,000 kilometers eastwards, and it will be entering into Arunachal Pradesh as Siang. So it later becomes Brahmaputra. We call this river as Brahmaputra in Assam. Okay. And what is the importance of this project is to counter China's hydel projects on this river. Particularly, the name of that dam is Super Dam. Okay, Super Dam in Tibet's Medong County place. I hope you have heard about this Medong County in your IR class. Okay, so they are constructing this super dam in this Tibet's Medong County place on this river itself, that is Brahmaputra river. So because of this, we are going to have significant threats like flash floods, and even they may not allow water to flow into India, so that it will cause water security. So to address those problems, we need to have this kind of dams for sure. Okay. And what are the concerns? Environment concerns and as well as social concerns. So actually Northeast very rich in biodiversity, you know. We have many national parks, biodiversity hotspots, and as well as important wildlife sanctuaries there. So if you're going for construction of this dam, obviously it is having impact on the biodiversity of Arunachal Pradesh. And even especially there is one tribe, Adi tribe. They have to be displaced. Okay. So here you may get a question like recently Adi tribe is in news. In which state they belongs to? They belongs to Arunachal Pradesh. So in this way also you may get a question. So here you can see the map, it is not much clear. So this is Yarlung Sangpo, and it is bending like this and it is entering like this, right? So at this point, especially very much close to India, here you can see in this place, they're going for this Medong project that is called as Super Dam of China. And we are going to plan here in this region now. Okay. Here, see this article. India shuts down internet 60 times in 2024, the lowest in 8 years. Okay, so what is the keyword? Internet shutdown. So what is internet? Everyone will use this, right? What is internet? Internet. Internet meaning. Internet. What are the internet plans you are using? 699, 799, 899. And which generation you are using? Fifth or fourth? Fifth generation. Okay, now tell me what is internet. You are using internet, and without this internet, you will be not staying for even 1 or 2 minutes. Now tell me what is the meaning of internet. It is a tool to access. From where you are getting this internet? Don't say Jio, don't say Airtel. In? From where you are getting signals? From where you are getting the signals? What happens if you go to any area like very remote, very high, especially crowded areas? Do you get signals? Why? From where you are getting the signals? So tell me which satellites you are using for getting this signals. Tell me examples of telecommunication satellites. I'm giving a lot of hints. Telecommunication satellite. You will be using telecom, not observatory satellites. Science and technology done. You know about different satellites and in which orbit they will be placing. Now tell me examples of telecommunication satellite that we use. Pass. After this class, today your punishment. Yesterday I said no, my New Year resolution, giving punishments. Write down about different types of satellites. Take down the question. Different types of satellites, their applications, and in which orbit they place and why. Certain satellites are placed in low Earth orbit. Certain satellites are placed in medium Earth orbit. Certain satellites are placed in high Earth orbits. For why? You have to know and you have to give examples and you have to see about examples of satellites and what services they are providing in India, and you have to see what are the applications. First homework started even before we got New Year. Oh no. Okay, so what is the meaning of internet shutdown? I am little bit advanced. Just 2 days before January 1st. What is internet shutdown? Is it done wantedly or unwantedly? Wantedly. Wantedly, there is disruption in providing of internet services. Is that good? No? Yes? Why yes? Why no? Tell me. Is it good? Okay, software is get affected. Next. Okay, government applications get affected. Next. Okay, banking. Okay, health records. Next. Education is getting interrupted. We are also having online. Okay, data problems. Okay, why it is good? Tell me, Venkat. You said right. Okay, during internal disturbances, how it is used? To control? Misinformation, right? To stop spreading of misinformation. Next. Is trade is getting affected because we are using this e-commerce websites like Flipkart, Amazon, Meesho. Next. Why it is good? internal disturbances. Okay, let me ask one more question. Can you give me examples of recent past where government of India went for internet shutdown? Yeah, Manipur violence. Next, Kashmir. Manipur violence, Jammu and Kashmir issue. What is happening in this Punjab and Haryana? Farmers are protesting. In that also, yeah. Haryana farmers issue. Next. You have to know examples. Without these examples, you can't write your answer, right? So if you're getting any question regarding internet shutdown, you will be writing what is the meaning of internet shutdown. An example you can give, like in the recent incidents where government of India imposed this internet shutdown. Okay. So any other examples? So if you go back to the title, it said that in 2024, there is less number of times they had been imposed. What might be the reasons? What might be the reasons? So if you compare with the earlier years, this year the imposition of this internet shutdown had been reduced. Why?
Because now
Think.
terrorism also reduced.
How can you say terrorism reduced?
Because the recently report released on the basis of the request overpress ministry.
Okay. So can you connect with this? Which kind of advanced technology they are using, especially some terror organizations in this Jammu and Kashmir? They are using offline apps. So for using of offline apps, do we need internet? Only for online apps we need. Okay, for offline apps we don't need. That means we realize that even if you're going for internet shutdown, it will be not controlling terrorism or terror organization. This is one reason. And actually, if you compare with the goods, bads are very high here. That means if you are imposing only for stopping of misinformation, education is getting affected, health is getting affected, and each and every essential service of that area is getting affected, right? And in the recent past, they had been implemented only in this Manipur violence and as well as Jammu and Kashmir issue and as well as only in this Haryana farmers issue. Only in these areas in this year they had been implemented. So if you compare with the last year, like 96 times they had been imposed this internet shutdown in India, but in this year it is just 60 times. So let us see in detail like what are the reasons that are responsible for decreasing of imposition of internet shutdown in India. So here this article says that India saw lowest number of mobile internet shutdowns in 8 years in 2024. Okay, so this data which is given by Internet Shutdown Tracker and this is maintained by Software Freedom Law Center India. You have to remember this. Okay, so this data it is from Internet Shutdown Tracker and it is maintained by Software Freedom Law Center. And it said that there is reduction of shutdowns in India and especially very few shutdowns had been imposed in Manipur issue, Jammu and Kashmir, and as well as in this Haryana farmers issue also, but they imposed very less. Okay, earlier year they used to continue for the long period, but this year they imposed very less and even they revoked very early. And even when we discussed about this Manipur issue, that is between meats and cookies, also we had earlier discussion on this internet shutdown. Okay, so what is this internet shutdown? It is an intentional disruption of internet and as well as communication. There will be no mobile calls will be going, there will be no signals and as well as there will be no internet. Only you have to play offline games at that time. And next one here is they will be disrupting this internet for a specific geographical area, that too for specific period of time. So 2023 globally, if you see globally also 41% to 283 had been 283 times globally had been imposed. So if you see what are the reasons why we are imposing this internet shutdown is because first one is to maintain our national security. For example, in Jammu and Kashmir, for this reason only government will be imposing this internet shutdown and to prevent social unrest. For example, you can see in 2018 in Kolhapur district of Maharashtra, they imposed because of this Bhima Koregaon issue And next one here is you can write recent example of Manipur violence. And next one is to prevent cheating. Okay, especially in Rajasthan in 2021, this internet shutdown had been imposed to prevent cheating in a teacher eligibility test, especially whenever any NEET examination or any famous examination is happening. So there will be no internet, so that they want to try to control malpractices in examination. During this examination time also they can go for internet shutdown. And next one is for maintaining of security and as well as public order. Okay, so these are the main reason why government will go for imposition of internet shutdown. And even there is one famous case regarding this internet shutdown is correct or not. You have to note down this case name, that is Anuradha Basin versus Union of India and others 2020. And try to ensure that whenever you are writing the Supreme Court judgments, try to write here also. This is mandatory. So in this Anuradha Basin versus Union of India case, Supreme Court said that freedom of speech and expression through the medium of internet is an integral part. Yes, internet is the right which comes under Article 19(1) subclass A. So if they are going for any restriction or internet shutdown, it should be according to Article 19 subclass 2. Article 19 subclass 2 mainly talks about in which areas or in which conditions they can take away this article, right? So whenever government is going for internet shutdown, it should follow Article 19 subclass 2. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly said. And what is the impact of internet shutdown? It will cause grave economic loss because mostly trade is happening, digital transactions are happening, right? So because of this, whenever we are going for internet shutdown, even remittances, other country people will be using this internet services for transferring of the money. So everything will be getting lost if there is no internet. And next one is even fundamental rights of the people will be getting affected because people have the right to get information. If there is no internet, there is a passing of digital information through WhatsApp or through anything. If you want to talk to any other person who is on another country in Skype, we can't do that. So fundamental rights of people like freedom of speech and expression will be get affected. And next one is inequality. Inequality will be also increased. And next one is especially if there is any disaster, during this disaster management, information dissemination is very important. We have to give the information for the people like what are the do's and what are the don'ts. So if there is no internet, we can't spread the information very fastly, right? And next one here is, so this happened during this Myanmar. So Myanmar came up with this internet shutdown, and at that time cyclone Mocha happened. So at that time they faced a lot of problems regarding information dissemination. So like that, whenever you are writing something, try to give the relevant example which is in use. And next one is education and healthcare will be obviously get affected. And internet shutdown, which also leads to disconnection of people with the world. Okay, that will leads to protest and as well as violence. And even human rights abuse will be happening. Okay. Yeah, see this article. ISRO to sign off 2024 with space docking experiment mission today. So what is this article is about? Mission space docking experiment. Okay, it is also called as SPADX, SPADX, SPADX or SPADX, your wish. Okay, so this is very important topic. Keep star mark, and we are expecting the question on this topic. It is about space docking. So what is the meaning of docking? I think you might have heard this word dockyard. Dockyard in Lathal. What is this dockyard? The place where the halt. Okay. So in space, what we are going to halt? For example, naval dockyard means nothing but the place where ships they will go and they will stop so that refueling, exchange of goods, everything will be done. So what is the meaning of this space docking? So which are the equipment will be there in your space? We have jets, we have rockets. Next, we have spacecrafts, right? So have you watched this Antariksh movie? Antariksh. Antariksham. You won't watch these movies. So what is that movie is about? It is about one moon mission which had been failed. Suddenly they will go to space for something, and finally they will get or retrieve the information from that satellite. Okay, that is a movie, right? So at that time they will go for docking of their spacecraft with ISS, that is International Space Station. Docking is nothing but we will be having this International Space Station like this, right? So here spacecraft will go and will be attaching to that, so that if they want any emergency things like refueling of their so and so spacecraft, or if they want food, or if they want to do repairs for any satellite which is present in the space, so they will go for docking of their spacecraft. That is called as space docking, or this mission is about the space docking experiment. So why we want to have this kind of space docking? Why we want this? So India is planning for its own space station. What is that name of that space station? Bharatiya Antariksh. So for that we need to have this kind of technology, or else even if you're having that, if you're not having this technology of docking of this space equipment, is it useful? No. Next, tell me advantages. So why we need this kind of technology? At least guess. Advantages of this space docking experiments. Okay, let us see here. So actually ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization, is set to end this year. So this year we are going to launch last mission through this PSLV-60, that is this space docking experiment. So this technology, it is designed for the spacecraft. Three important things. See here. First one is rendezvous, next one is docking and undocking. You know about docking. Docking is nothing but the spacecraft will go and will fix to this space station. Undocking is nothing but it will be removing the attachment, it will be going in its own path. It is nothing but parking and deparking. So we are going for parking, parking is docking, and next one is undocking. What is this rendezvous? So this is a very important terminology. So is this space station stationary like what we have on the earth? No, it will be also moving. Okay, it will, if you watch that movie, you can connect with this thing which I say now. So actually, okay, let me draw here. So here we have sun. Around the sun we have different planets. So earth is which planet? Third planet. Here we have earth. So around this earth, what is the satellite of earth? Natural satellite. We have moon. So moon will be also moving. So earth will be also moving around sun. Earth will be moving around itself, right? Okay, so if you see here, we will be also placing different satellites in this orbits. Yes or no? So how the moon is moving around the earth, our satellites that we launch will also move around the earth. It is not only the satellites of India, there are different countries satellites, France satellite, US satellites, European Union satellites, different kind of satellites, right? So here, so as of now we have ISS, for example, that is International Space Station. So for this International Space Station, if you are launching anything, if you are having any problem, we will go and we will dock our vehicles to this, and after everything, refueling, everything is done, it will be coming to its space, right? So actually what happens is, so this will be also moving around Earth with certain speed, and whenever we are launching any spacecraft, it will be starting moving around the Earth in the orbits. So will the speed of this and this will be same? Speed of what are the spacecraft we are launching, is it the same with this ISS? Obviously no. The speed will be variant. For example, if you take any race of bike, for example 10 bikers, they are riding the bike, so is every biker maintaining the same speed? If they are maintaining same speed, all will become one row, they will be winning the race. But why only one will be winning the race? Because of different speed and different ability, different style, right? So here the first step is nothing but we have to calculate the speed of IS which is moving. Okay, International Space Station will be moving with that certain speed. We have to calculate that speed, and we have to calculate this vehicle which is moving with how much speed, and what is the distance between these two. So if we want to reach that, what we have to do? Like we have to increase our velocity. So for that, how much amount of thrust we have to give? So that calculation part will comes under this. Okay, ren, des, was. So for that also we have to see whether whatever the fuel that we have is enough or not. So if you want to raise the things, if you are riding a bike, if you want to raise, obviously the fuel consumption is high, yes or no? So in the same way, we have to calculate like how much amount of fuel we have and how much distance we are there from this ISS, in how much time we can reach, with which speed that we can maintain. If you want to increase the speed, how much amount of thrust you have to give. So everything comes under this first part of readiness bus. So it is very, very important. And next one is, after reaching that, ultimately we will be docking. So while the docking also, that will be moving and you will be moving, and you have to control your speed for fixing it. Okay, so for all these things we are especially demonstrating whether we have that technology or not. Okay, clear? So here, what is this rendezvous was? The spacecraft approaches the target by using thrusters and as well as orbital adjustment. So we have to carefully manage our relative speed. Why I'm calling it as relative speed? We have to calculate the speed of your vehicle with the speed of ISS. Okay, now we are taking this ISS, but after once we get our Bharatiya Antariksh station, so then we will be calculating with the speed of our own space station. Okay. And next one here is docking. Docking is nothing but airtight connection of your vehicle with ISS. And this one is undocking. Undocking is nothing but you are separating from that ISS and you will be moving in your path. It will be easy. Okay, so what is this technology? So in this technology, we are especially mastering autonomous docking, how we have to go for docking, a critical capability. Actually, very few countries is having that technology. You have to write this. US is having this technology, Russia is having technology, and China. Only these three countries are having this technology. If India is success in this, we will become into that list. We will become the fourth country which is having this kind of space docking technology. And now in this experiment, we are taking two satellites. Note down the names. First one is Chaser, second one is Target. So here you will be getting question, recently Chaser and Target are in news. They are related to which of the following mission? And they may give probe, it is successful mission, right? They may give probe mission, or they may give Chandrayaan 3, it is also successful mission. They may give this SpaceX, like that. So you have to be very careful while choosing. So your examiner will be also very, very intelligent, because they will be giving only successful missions which are in news. So you will be obviously get confused in that examination tension and anxiety. You have to be very careful. Okay, so it will be launched into slightly different orbits by single PSLV class, and we are aiming to dock at an altitude about 700 kilometers. So actually now in this test, we are taking two satellites and we are launching it at the different heights, and we are trying to do these three steps, like identifying the speed to connect this, and with what speed we have to give the thrust, everything we are going to calculate now through this experiment. If you are success, then it will be very useful for our future Bharatiya Antariksh station. Clear? Okay, so what is significance of this mission? The first one is we are going to become expert in this space exploration. Already because of this Chandrayaan and as well as probe 3 success, actually India is running in the space race. So if you are becoming success in this, even in this Gaganyaan mission and future Chandrayaan 4 mission, and as well as in this Bharatiya Antariksh station also, this technology will be very useful for Indians. And this one is, it will also mark some milestone in this private sector participation, and we can also come up with reforms in our space also, so that we can encourage private sector participation. And this one is, it will be always having some future impact, like we can improve our space infrastructure, we can also go for deep sea exploration, and even different countries, they will come and try to invest in the space sector in India. We can attract investments, and we can improve our Atmanirbhar in the space. Okay, that is the thing. And see this article, the challenge of holding judges accountable. What is this is about? Judges comes under which subject? Polity, GS paper 2. And tell me which articles deals with this appointment of judges of Supreme Court. Go to Polity. Article number 1, 20, 4, not 1. Article 124. So here if you see the gist of this article, it says that only 2 judges so far have been found guilty for their misbehavior. So why it is in news? Because of Allahabad High Court judge case. So only 2 judges so far have been found guilty for their misbehavior by a 3-member committee. So actually what is the requirements for the removal of a judge? On what basis we can remove? Huh? Misbehavior, incapacity. Okay, only 2 things. So far only 2 judges had been found guilty by 3-member committee under this misbehavior. And you have to remember which is that 3-member committee. So 3-member committee includes Supreme Court judge, Chief Justice of High Court and eminent jurist. And which article talks about this appointment of judges of Supreme Court? That is Article 124. So here they gave Article 124 subclass 4, which says that panel's finding must be voted upon by the Parliament, and the motion requires either a 2/3 of majority of present MPs voting in favor of motion or an absolute majority in each house for judge to be removed. So just keep star mark in your Lakshmikant in this chapter judiciary, and especially see about what are the conditions to be satisfied for the removal of judge, appointment of the judge, and next what is the majority, because the removal of this judge, Supreme Court judge, and removal of president is called as impeachment. So here you may also get question regarding impeachment, okay, because vice president removal is also in news. So there is a high chance of getting questions regarding vice president. Last time president question they gave because of elections of president. So this year you may get question regarding vice president. You won't get question regarding president this year. So you have to focus on vice president chapter more, especially removal of vice president and removal of judges at most important, guys. And you have to see what is the majority. They are saying that special majority or they are saying absolute majority. Okay, so that is the thing that you have to see. And see about different articles regarding appointment of judges of High Court and as well as Supreme Court. What is the procedure and what is the difference between this appointment process and removal process of High Courts and as well as Supreme Court. And you have to see who is appointing these judges and what about oath. And next one is transfer of Supreme Court judges, which is also in news. And you have to see about acting judge. Okay, so that's it. So if you see all those areas, you can cover 2 to 3 questions in your upcoming prelims case. And polity, you will be getting direct questions. So if you are clear cut with the concept, then you can do that questions. Okay, so that's all, guys. So these are the important topics that happened in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And if you like this class, please hit the like button and please do share this class. And one more thing here is we are going to conduct topper talk on January 1st at 5 p.m. And who is the speaker? Speaker is Punit Kumar sir, who is IRS officer, and he secured rank of 795 in UPSC CSC 2023. So if you want to attend offline, you can visit our institute, which is above Vikas Book Center, 2nd and 3rd floor, exactly opposite sub-register office, Gandhi Nagar. Okay, that's all, guys. Thank you so much.